Good evening and welcome to the first knockout round draw for the UEFA Champions League, where 15 of Europeans' elites and also Queen of the South are set to discover who will be first obstacle as they seek to make the final. Now let's head inside and find out which of these European giants will be battering the dopes from Dumfries.
Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Queen of the South. It is Season 6, Episode 9 on the Impossible Dreams. We look to win the Champions League with the club, and we are going to find out who stands in our way between now and the final. First up anyway, in a moment here. We're also going to have two big games against the old firm in the league, so a big opportunity to take a big step towards getting back into the Champions League next season if we can secure a top 2 finish in the league, of course. But let's go and have a look and see who we are going to get here. Now, we haven't been seeded because we were second in the group, obviously. The seeded teams are Barcelona, who we can't get because that's who we had in the group. Dortmund, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Celtic, who we can't get, obviously because they are also Scottish, Liverpool, Paris Saint-Germain, and Roma. Well, if we don't get Roma, maybe Dortmund, we are going to get absolutely battered here. The other teams are Bayern Munich, Chelsea, City, Porto, Benfica, Inter Milan, and ourselves. One of these teams is not like the other, is it? All right. Liverpool, I think, have Haaland and Mbappe up top, so thankfully they have gone early. Chelsea, they take Paris for us. Fantastic. Porto, if they want to take another of the big boys, they get Celtic. Well, we couldn't have got them anyway. Milan, they get Real Madrid. We can't get Barcelona, so it's Manchester United, Dortmund, or it's not going to be Rome. It's going to be Manchester United or Dortmund. Well, it can't be Barcelona there. So here it comes. It's Dortmund. Well, Dortmund are a little bit of a hot and cold side, aren't they? So that could go well, that could go very poorly. But I also think it could have been much, much worse, couldn't it? Now, there is a lot to catch you up on that has happened off the field. Let's start with the youth intake preview, which is not great. We've got a decent prospect in the centre of midfield, 2 wingers. Now, we are looking for wingers. You know, that's something that I've just not been able to find in the transfer market as yet. Now, the issue we're going to have, of course, 2 very handy prospects. They're prospects. They're unlikely to come into the first team and make an instant impact. So we probably still will need to look to the transfer market, but at least there might be something coming through and maybe a decent fullback as well. But you can see there, below average. I don't think we should be expecting too much from that. Now, hopefully we're on the improve on this front, though, because since last episode, we've had our junior coaching and youth recruitment have both been improved upon, so that is excellent. We're also going to have our youth facilities upgraded, so they'll be up to, I think good comes after average, doesn't it? But so everything there is on the up and up. Now, one other thing that we did do is ask for some extra transfer budget, and we got granted extra transfer budget. So I think I can't remember what the exact amount was, but it was significant. We have spent a little bit, and I'll show you who we've signed in just a second. But more importantly, we've been able to move some of it over into the wage budget as well, so that for this season, we're currently spending below what the actual budget is. But let's go and have a look and see who it is that we've signed. And of course, we know that the new goalkeeper, Santizo, is coming in, but we've also signed Eddie Johnson from Rangers, 950 grand, and they've let one slip here. This guy is absolutely magnificent. I was raving about him, I think, an episode or 2 ago, saying that we couldn't get these players out of those out of the old firm clubs, and we've done it. He was, as I say, unhappy at the club. They wanted 950 grand. We paid that for a 17-year-old striker that is already, I'd say, ready for the first team. Now, he's left-footed as well. Unfortunately, he can't really cross, but maybe we could use him in, if we are looking for that little bit of width at some point, maybe we could use him as a left-sided winger at a stretch if we're desperate, trying to change a game. And we have someone like Bayless, for example, who could play on the right-hand side. So he could fill that role as well, but we've not signed him to do that. We've signed him as a striker. You can see, only a B- from the scouts. I think he's better than that. And he's playing in Rangers, well, not much. He is playing for, he's around Rangers' first team though, and at 17, that's not to be sneezed at. And we needed another striker, and well, this guy comes in January, and he's not the final answer by any means, but he's a very good prospect, and potentially down the line could be a very good prospect as well, turn into a bit more than a prospect, I suppose. So if that's the good news, we should probably touch on the bad news. And once again, we have a squad of unhappy players. If we go down, I mean, Goss is leaving. I said we'll sell him. That's fine. His contract's up at the end of the year anyway. Mitch Clark, I'm willing to let go. He actually rejected a contract for Ross County. We had 2.5 million coming in, and he rejected that, which is annoying. And the frustrating one here actually is Jamie Hamilton. Now, he wanted to play more, and I just basically had to say no because Deshaun, Bernard, and Walker are our first choice centre backs. So best case scenario, he is third choice. Although we also have Vital, the Portuguese guy who we signed. So realistically, he's fourth choice. And I just didn't want to promise him football basically. So he's requested a transfer. I mean, Ross County are interested whether he actually goes there or not. Time will tell. And I mean, we signed him for next to nothing. So, if he does go, we'll make a massive profit on him, and it's not necessarily the end of the world. So that just kind of is what it is. But yeah, that is basically everything that's happened off the field to catch you up on. Now we're going to start on-field catch-up. We have been very, very busy since last episode, and the first of those games in the league was against Aberdeen. Ramos crossed for McGrath to give us the lead. But Aberdeen drew level before half-time. So this was a frustratingly even game. You can see actually on XG and the XG tracker that they were actually the better team. A draw was fair. They'll probably argue that they should have won it, and it would have been completely difficult to disagree with them. But I think overall a draw was unfortunately the fair result in this one. Next up in the league again was Motherwell. Bayless picked out Sulic's run to give us a half-time lead. And Bayless was again the provider for Siljic to get his second. So this was a much, much better performance from us. It was a stronger team as well, to be fair. And Ramos got himself sent off in stoppage time, which, to be honest, was not the worst thing because we promised him first-team football. But that meant that, of course, he was suspended. He couldn't play, so we kind of got to rest him, without him necessarily being able to hold that against me. But Bayless and Siljic, it was their show, this one, and they were just too good for Motherwell. Next up, again in the league, was St Mirren. Mitch Clark crossed for Clockerty to get a late winner. So this was a game that we dominated. We just couldn't stick the thing in the back of the net. Bermudez missed a penalty, and I believe it was saved. It was actually a miss. And, I mean, they did not have a shot on target. Our goalkeeper somehow managed to play a 6.3, though, so obviously passed the ball very well. It should have been... The XG was 2.5. It should have been much, much more comprehensive for us. Next up, it was the final Champions League group game. It was against Barcelona. We already knew they were top. We already knew we were going through in second. So let's see how the game played out. We fell behind in the 10th minute. And Barcelona made it 2-0 with 20 to play. Before Gilchrist and McGrath combined to pull one back in stoppage time. So honestly, it was a decent effort. I was quite pleased with it. You can see the XG, we were actually quite close to them. And yeah, I mean, McGrath's making a decent shake of playing up front as a striker. I don't think it's where his long-term future is, but yeah, he's done okay. Now, you'll notice that McKellar is there. We actually played 3 centre-backs because Barcelona went with a 4-4-2, so we were just trying to have the man over at the back there. And it worked okay. A goal in each half against the Barcelona is not the end of the world. Like I say, it was fine. It was a decent effort from us. Next up, we went back into the league and we played Ross County. We fell behind in the 70th minute, but McGrath found McPherson in space, who drew us level with the help of a deflection. Oh, this was stupid drop points. We dominated this game, and yeah, it shouldn't have been close, yet here we are dropping points again. 1-1 on the road. It was our Achilles heel last season, and it's raising its ugly head again this season, isn't it? So there we go. Silly drop points. Final game to catch you up on in the league again was St Johnstone. McPherson slipped in Clockerty to give us a first half lead. But St Johnstone stole a point in stoppage time. I tell you what, it's a good thing I cut my hair, or I would have been ripping it out after this one. They were, XG maybe turns me into a bit of a liar here. They were not in this game at all. And the worst thing about the penalty is that it was given away by Dunn, who I just brought off the bench to give him a little bit of game time to help his development. 94th minute, and there was 93 minutes, 3 minutes of stoppage time, I should say. They absolutely mugged us off. But, I mean, XG, even looking at it now, it suggests otherwise. It suggests it was an even game, although a penalty helps their XG out big time. But it just felt like a game we were winning the whole way through, and that's what you get when you don't take your chances, isn't it? You know, that can happen, I suppose. So we're going to have a quick look. We do have a game against Dundee United in between the two Old Firm games, so we'll play that off camera and catch you up. But it's actually not going too bad. Rangers are having another poor season. You can see they've lost to Motherwell, Drew Harts. They lost to Celtic and St Johnstone and Aberdeen as well in that last 10 games. So they're struggling. And Celtic as well, you know, despite the fact we've drawn a lot of games, they've drawn Hibs, they've drawn Dundee United recently as well. So we are still kind of within touching distance, although you do suspect that's not going to last forever. And we do also have our Scottish Cup 4th round tie away to Wraith of the Championship, I believe. So that is something to look forward to as well. But let's go and have a look and see what we're doing here. It is Rangers first up. There it is there. Celtic, while we're doing this, apparently have the afternoon off. And this is what we're expecting from Rangers, a 4-2-3-1 formation. And this is the team that we're sending out. So it's Eastwood in goal. It's Montano moving over to left back with Walker, Bernard and Clark having to fill in for us at right back. Bayliss, Davenport and Irving are in midfield. Bayliss in behind Shakir, Omar and Suljic. Now, if you're wondering, you can see here just the December, January fixture. Well, we're in December, so it's the December fixture pile up. It's really just starting to wreak havoc with the squad. Lutzi isn't too far away from coming back. He should actually be back for the Celtic game. McCallum has injured himself as well, but he's still about a week away. And it really, really is wreaking havoc with our squad just now. But anyway, those are all excuses. Let's hopefully we don't need them. All right, so we can see the team sheets there. I mean, the Rangers side, considering we're sort of 6 years in now, Eddie Johnson on the bench, who, of course, we've already signed. Hopefully he knows good enough not to score against us. Put on a worthy display. Just play your natural game. Rangers are 6th in the form table. We're 2nd. Let's make that count today. Let's go with that. What was I going to say? I forget now. That's useful. Anyway, here we go. Now, a couple of things to catch you up on. One thing that is annoying is that Harding, our Australian midfielder, he's off to the Asian Cup. It might even be after this game, I think, but he played last one. You can see at the start there, he's just not got the legs in him for 90 minutes. We might get him for Dundee United. I can't remember. It's definitely coming up soon as the corner comes in. Header, and it's back post, and it's Sergio's offside. Linesman's flag is up. Do we have a VAR check, or is... No, I don't know if there is VAR in this league, to be honest. Oh, it's so close. Linesman, benefit of the doubt, man. Come on. Yeah, anyway, so he's off shortly, and that will probably mean we'll lose him for January. You would imagine Australia would go deep in that tournament. The Graham Arnold's in charge. You never can be too short. We have another chance here. Bermudez, Suljic to Omar. This is wonderful football, and the goalkeeper makes the save. And we'll get a corner out of that. And another thing that has happened, Davenport, club captain, our defensive midfielder, his contract was up Walker over the bar, was up at the end of the season, so I have extended that. The other guys that are up, Dominic Thompson's contract is up. I'm trying to decide what... I see, is his contract up? 2027, is that what year we're in? Must be. He wants like 10 grand a week, though, 9 grand a week, so I'm not sure about that. And the other one is McPherson, who's happy at the club again now. He is useful. I feel like we have a lot of central midfielders right now, which is good. Obviously, it's good for squad depth. The one position I don't ever feel like we can over rotate in because we had that many options is midfield. But then I feel like there's another cracking ball. Suljic. Oh, it's a penalty. Is it, ref? No. I feel like there's a lot of guys like McPherson that are just kind of average. But Bermudez on the volley over his shoulder. That is a stunning goal. And it's Mitch Clark against his former team with the assist. And if Mitch Clark can... I mean, we know Mitch Clark getting forward is okay. It's defensively that he's a liability. If we can't get somebody else in, it's a cracky... Look at this. Oh, Bermudez. That is a thing of beauty, mate. Yes, defensively that Clark is suspect, let's say. But it might be a case of maybe even just for the rest of this season, we try and keep him happy I forget if is he transfer listed? I can't remember if he asked to leave or not. But anyway, we'll just kind of see what happens. I think January could actually be kind of busy for us. And the reason that I'm thinking that is, realistically, I do wonder if we would have been better off actually getting third in the group and parachuting down for a deeper run in Europe. But realistically, I mean, the Champions League, if we pull off a miracle, another German miracle, and get past Dortmund, realistically, how much further do we think we're going to go? That is just so annoying. Right before half-time as well. So I think January is maybe the time to try and make signings, because right now we have that lure of Champions League football, which isn't necessary. Well, hopefully it'll be there in the summer. But, you know, we don't necessarily want to rely on that. But also, if we make signings in January, then they can be settling in through the second half of this season, so we're ready to go, you know, at the start of... Oh, is he offside? He was offside, was he not? Was the blue line not in front of the yellow line? Or did I missee that? Or is Rangers the yellow line? I think he was offside there. Let me know in the comments if I've misseen that. But I thought I just saw that the blue line was in front of the yellow line. Maybe, as I say, maybe we're the blue line. All right, let's say unlucky. I think we have been the better side there. Eastwood is looking nervous. We've got faith in you. Got faith in everybody. Montano is just going through a little bit of a downward trend in form, but I think that is just because he's playing all the time. That's because I promised him football, and I don't want him to become unhappy. So I think we've got a similar thing with Ramos, though Ramos is being rested for this one. So far, you know, you get the progress update, and they're both there. It's green. They're both happy with the football they've been getting. So that being the case, I can probably afford to rest them a little bit now. We've picked them apart again through the middle. Andy Irving is in, and he has found the back of the net. I thought it was going to miss, but Andy Irving with the first goal of the season puts us back in front. Let's maybe just go back off of attacking now that we've regained the lead. But here we are at Ibrox, and it is... I mean, we are getting to have a very decent record. It's wonderful football, isn't it? Just pick them apart. The two central middle, the two Mazzellas, I should say, in Bayless and Irving combining, and that is just a really good goal. But yeah, we are starting to get a really good record against Rangers. Ever since Gerrard left, I think and this was always the risk, I suppose, for the old firm teams, and what we need to take advantage of is, because they are going to have good players and they are going to have good managers that will look to be picked off elsewhere, there was always a chance that we could capitalise on that. And I mean, it could have been Rangers, it could have been Celtic. I think Celtic went through a brief period, didn't they, where we started to think we were getting close to them. That's gone now. Celtic actually topped their Champions League group, and their Champions League group had Bayern Munich in it. So at least when we're getting battered by Celtic in a moment here, remember that. They are a genuinely good side. Now we've got to throw here. If we could not let them level again, that'd be great. Please and thank you. Get out to him, Irving. Oh, we've left the gap, and they have tied that up again. And I wonder... I'm tired of playing a 6.3, mate. You've just got to learn to play football for me. Let's get Thompson on out there. I wonder if... Are we putting pressure on them, like closing the ball down pressure? Yeah, he gave and went, didn't he? He moved, passed and moved. Irving went to the ball, and nobody covered the space. Again, you might have to say a good goal. We've got a corner here. Irving to take. Can we go back in front for a third time? We can, and it's Andrew Walker that pops up in the 82nd minute. They weren't in level for long, were they? And it's now 3-2. A good ball in from Andy Irving, and Walker with what a header that is. Rising above. Rising like a salmon just sounds so cliche, doesn't it? What's something else that jumps? I don't know. Rising like a jumping jack. If jacks do indeed jump. All right, let's close this down. So we will move these guys back to fullbacks on support. Just don't get caught out, please. We'll drop Davenport back in. We will go back to... I don't like very defensive necessarily. I always feel like you don't want to not have any sort of threat. I always feel anyway. But that's just because I'm an aggressive attacking person. Not necessarily aggressive person, but you know what I mean. Let's just push out a little bit. We don't want to be camped on our own 18-yard box, but oh, don't do it to me. Oh, you mother effers. Oh, Eddie, what are you doing, Eddie Johnson? You're going to be with us in 3 days' time. Oh, you idiot. He may have just cost himself, a Champions League football next season. You absolute moron. Joining us in January, and December 19th he goes and scores. Unbelievable. 3-3. I can't believe he's just done that to us. 91st minute. Obviously, we need to work on defending set pieces. Oh, what an idiot. So, I mean, you'd have to say, it wasn't 1-1. It was drop points, wasn't it? We were 3 times in front in that game, and we couldn't hang on to a lead. And that is 3 points that hopefully it won't cost us, because if we, it's one of those things, if we actually do end up running Celtic close, that'll be 2 points we'll live to regret. And you'd like to think Rangers aren't going to overhaul us, but 7 points can disappear very, very quickly. And, well, if it had been 10 points, that would have looked a lot better, wouldn't it? Anyway, guys, wait right there. I'll play through the Dundee United game. We'll be back to face Celtic and just pray that we can get close to them. Okay, welcome back. Now, we are getting ready to face Celtic, but before that, of course, we do have to catch you up on the Dundee United game, so let's see how we got on with that. It was Razaev who got the winner in stoppage time. So I thought for sure we were going to drop points in this one, but Razaev in stoppage time, he doesn't get many. In fact, is it his first ever goal for the club? It might have been it is his first ever goal for the club, so what a time to score it. And yeah, it was a game I thought for sure that we were going to drop points in. We just never seemed to get anything going, and you can see there from the XG tracker, it was a struggle for us, particularly in that first half we were woeful, but in the end, we got there, and that is the main thing. And it was even better because while we were doing that, if you're going to have a look at the competition screen here, Rangers lost to Hibs 1-0. So we did have a 10-point gap. We've got the Sunday game here against Celtic. Rangers have already played. You can see there they beat Dundee United 1-0 as well. So that gap is now back to 7 points. And no matter what happens here, we're going to have a nice little lead over Rangers. All right, let's go and see what we're doing here against Celtic. We are going to try something a little bit different. We're expecting a 4-2-3-1 formation from them. And what we're going to do, now I just wanted to make sure that this was going to be for this game only. We're going to try something. So it really is getting a bit of a midfield block going, but with the two Mazzellas, they will drift out, and we'll have obviously the fullbacks getting forward. So it's Eastwood in goal, it's Montano, it's Walker, Bernard and Clark, it's Razaev and Davenport in midfield, it's Bayliss and Irving a little bit further forward in midfield, with Shakir Omar and fit again Lutzi. They're out there. And what we might do, it's McCallum's last game for the club, so we might actually get him on the bench, and we can maybe have a bit of a farewell appearance from him later on in the game. Okay, so we can see the team sheets there. Palmer and Mopai, who of course score against us for fun. There was a referee Dallas. Was it Brett Dallas? No, he was a rugby league player, I think. There was a Stuart Dallas. Was there a Dallas that was a Scottish referee years ago now, probably? We're in a good run. Let's just ignore the praise. Let's go out there and have some fun, if such a thing can be true against Celtic, when we'll probably be getting battered. And we have got apparently either a very low fog or a waterlogged pitch. I'm not quite sure what it is here. But anyway, we are at home, and let's hope that we can put up a decent show. It's one of these where I don't want to say I'm sort of just conceding defeat to Celtic, because I will never do that. But we're 3 points behind them. They have a game in hand. The reason they weren't playing last time is they had the Betfred Cup final, which they won 2-0 against St Johnstone. So that's why they've got that extra game in hand on us. So you never know. If we could nick a result here, it would obviously be a wonderful thing. But we'll just kind of see how this formation works for us. And early signs would suggest not very well, because here we're just trying to put a bit of a midfield block up. And I wonder actually if it might work in our favour, instead of doing that, to do that. Just try and feed them into the block. That makes a little bit more sense, doesn't it? But, yeah, we haven't conceded yet, so that's something. And like I said earlier, they topped the Champions League group with Bayern Munich in it, which is why at the top we saw them as a top seed in the draw. So they are genuinely a good team. They're not just a good team by sort of Celtic standards. So it's annoying, obviously, but the other side of looking at that is that if we do ever beat them, we know that we've done well. So yeah, that's it. Just kind of is what it is. I mean, it's going to get more difficult if we do get the Scottish coefficient up to the point where the league winners go straight into the group stage of the Champions League. Then it's actually going to get harder to catch them because they're going to have that guaranteed money each year. Now, if it means that we would have to make sure we're beating Rangers just to get into the Champions League and then getting through the playoffs, which, to be completely honest, this season were a lot easier than I thought they would be. But we've got Cole Palmer here. He'll probably score because that seems to be what he does against us. I mean, you look at the state of the pitch, the rain coming down. What a wonderful day in Dumfries it is. It's a sellout this game, apparently, too. And well, I'll tell you what, if I had a ticket for this, I'm not sure I would have shown up in these conditions, if I'm being completely honest. Look, a heavy touch, and I thought Mengi was going to give us a chance there. Like we gave you a chance at Manchester United, Mengi. Remember that? Kickstarted your career, mate. You should be looking to thank me. Unlike Eddie Johnson. Friggin' moron last game. But anyway, I'm over it. They're pinging it around a little bit. I mean, we are, I think, making it difficult for them, but... Oh, good tackle for... Oh, what an idiot. What an idiot, Montano. Come on, man. Mopai just before half-time. 1-0 Celtic. I can't believe what... Oh, it just makes you want to smash a screen or something. Unbelievable. The game plan was working relatively well. And Montano goes and just cleans out everything in sight. I mean, he almost fouled the guy next to him as well. It was that bad of a tackle. What do we say to this? Unlucky? All right, let me think. What do we need to do here? We need to try and win the game, don't we? So let's try... All right, let's try lowering the tempo down. We'll look for the overlaps. We'll just shoot on sight. See if that gives us a little bit more of a threat. We have McGrath and Bermudez on the bench and Suljic as well. So we do have the ability to bring on attacking players. And it is, of course, only 1-0. But as we can see, we've not really done much. Let's try playing for set pieces as well. We know we've got Walker and Bernard who are very good in the air. So if we can get a set piece in a decent position, maybe that could work in our favour. All right, so Lutzi's coming back to match sharpness. I'm going to bring McGrath on for him as a deep lying forward because he's been doing really well in that role. And that might just help link up midfield to attack a little bit as well. Irving is just not playing well. So let's get Bermudez on for him. We'd like him to run with the ball a little bit more. He can be a more attacking Mazzella. I wonder if actually they should both be more attacking Mazzellas, given that there's players behind them. We're looking anxious. Calm down, boys. Just calm and furious now. Perfect. Anxious and furious. That's exactly what you want. I mean, if Montano had stayed on his feet, we'd be looking at a 0-0 and not much having happened. Let's try a berating and see if that fires them up. It does. We've got 10 minutes to go. We might as well go for this now. Okay, so we're going to raise the tempo back up again. We have taken off Irving and Davenport. Is that who we took off? Luizzi. Who did I take off soon? Anyway, those three have come off. And maybe we just put... Anyway, you can see what we're doing there. Suljic and Omar up front. McGrath, we move Razayev a little bit further forward as well. And we've got nothing to lose at this point. If you lose 1-0, you might as well lose 2-0. We've got McGrath with a corner. Can we get Walker? No, not quite. Bermudez will pick that up. And can we go and get level? There's a good ball. Oh, Shakir Omar, you would have put the house on him. One chance that we've created, and Shakir Omar can't find the back of the net. And like I said, you would have put your house on him to put that away. And we'd all be homeless right now. Oh, and that is almost a second goal for Celtic. Oh, if there was one player you'd want that to fall to. Maybe Bayless, but Shakir Omar would be right at the top of that list. We're into stoppage time. Can we break Celtic hearts for once? Montano, is he going to lunge in again? How did he not get booked for that penalty, by the way? Surely it was a dangerous tackle. Borderline red card, actually. It was quite the lunge in. Can Bayless get there? No, not quite. And you get the feeling, having opened up here, that Celtic might be about to stick a second one past us. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't give Thingo a farewell appearance. McCallum. Thanks for your service, McCallum. You've been a wonderful player. Oh, I meant to do that. You actually would have been a decent sub down that left-hand side. But anyway, he bows out with an appearance on the bench. We'll clap him after the game. He can do a lap of honour. And down the tunnel it goes. And Mopai, get up, Mopai, you whinging moron. Oh, is this what we're going to play it this way, are we? Well, at least we've made them go all CONCACAF on us. Hobbling off. Boom! And of course, he'll just run straight back on, won't he? That's a good throw from Soldic. He's in behind here. Kenny Whipper, it would be justice, wouldn't it? Oh, he's misplaced his pass there for Omar. Celtic lump it clear. And let's take a little bit of a moral victory here in that Celtic are playing like, idiots to hang on to the result there. But it's a penalty that sinks us. It's not the sort of football we want to play, is it? But it was almost effective. I'm disappointed we're not top of the table. Let's just go with that, maybe. Yeah, David Weeder's done okay with that one. So there we go. Celtic produced dominant performance. I mean, it was a dominant performance from them. We were kind of allowing them to be dominant. Is that maybe a way forward? I wonder if we get sort of a whip it up front or something like that, if we can tweak that to try and get the better of Celtic. And maybe that's something we can look to use in Europe as well. Maybe we just need, let me know what you guys think if you have an idea. I honestly think wingers might be the way forward, because we could play one up front, say Shakir Omar up front, and two out-and-out wingers to whip crosses in. I think that is the way forward. We've just got to find wingers that we can afford to sign. I don't want to spend tons on them because obviously it's not really the way we play. It's just to give us an option. But anyway, we'll have a look at that in January. That will do it for today. If you have enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. It could have been so much better, to be honest. We should have got 3 points against Rangers, and we could have got a point against Celtic, and it would have looked a lot rosier. But anyway, that December horrible run is behind us. Now the fixture list does kind of level out a little bit. I think what we'll do is we'll come back for, let's say, Aberdeen and Motherwell at the end of the January transfer window. I'm hoping we'll be able to sign some players, and like I say, there might be one or two on the way out as well. Right now we have 6-odd million to spend, almost 7 million, 80% of anything we get in to spend as well. And, well, there's a lot of interest in a few of our players, because Mitch Clark could well be off, Hamilton could well be off. I don't want to sell Bernard. The other one we've promised to sell is Soldic. If we get a bid of 5.5, there's a little bit of interest in him. So, and Irving has got some interest in him as well. So, but Hearts, I don't think they're going to be able to afford anything that will tempt me to sell him. But anyway, what I'm saying is that there could be movement. So we'll see what happens. I'll see you next time anyway, guys. I can see we've got this guy in on trial as well. He might be decent, maybe as a centre-back. We'll keep looking at him. He might be okay as a centre-back, actually. Anyway, that's all for next time. Until then, take care.